Hey Dan, podcast voice. I'm quite extraordinary. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I've been recently
I've
injected.
decided now that when everyone asks how I am, I'm going to go quite extraordinary. Because when Oliver Reed was on Johnny Carson, Johnny Carson asked him how he was, and he went, quite extraordinary. So that's what I'm going to say now when people say how I am. He was only slightly cut on that. He wasn't fully cut. He was only he wasn't quite the word pisshead yet, but he was sort of semi-soused, shall we say.
I was going to say my favourite intro that I've ever heard of comes from Tim Heidecker and Robert Popper. Because they're good friends in real life, and whenever
like us.
Yeah, and whenever Tim calls Robert or Robert calls Tim, they always answer the phone with, "Hello, my only friend." And
I mean,
they always end the call.
With us, I feel like that's implied.
Yeah, and then they always end the call with, "Goodbye, my only friend, forever."
Oh dear. What are we doing today?
So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you now right up front, we have been rambling now for like the last hour and a half on everything from Which Way to Sundown, but we're back in here.
Speak for yourself.
It's been a delight. We haven't spoken to each other in like 6 years, so it's really nice to just get back together.
By choice.
Yeah, I hated him. When we left, if I remember rightly, when we left, the word "Go away, you bastard, I never want to see you again" was the recurring motif. However, we're back, and we're back on the Bond today, Ben.
What if I just spent the whole commentary just reading from the Bible, and then you can just like cut it in at random points, regardless of whether it sinks in or not?
Yeah, that could work for me.
That could work for like all the crazy people who like to sing. They like to like, dude, if you watch Dark Side of the Moon and The Wizard of Oz side by side, then you can't hear Wizard of Oz.
Because it's blotted out.
Because it's blotted out by David Gilmour, so what's the point? I don't know what I'm talking about. Why am I doing this bit? You do this bit.
It's because I keep trying and you keep jumping on me with all of your unconditional love. Fuck off. So, basically...
I'm just as God made me, sir.
That was unpleasant. I'm sorry. So we're back on the Bond today, and we're covering a Bond movie starring James the Bond 007. And this Bond movie that we're going to be covering today is called The Dragon Lives Again. Ben, you are a Bond head. Yes, you are considered the Bond expert of this film, and I really hope that you have lots of fascinating trivia to offer.
Well, this is a Bond film in the same way that Spaceballs is a Star Wars film.
I wonder, you know what? Right, I'm going to build my case. For why this actually should really be considered a Bond film. But we'll get rolling because the evidence is immediate.
It's now a good time to say I haven't seen this.
You have. You watched it half cut with me in university about 10 years ago.
That was like 25 years ago, Dan.
Yeah.
I've slept since then.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of powerful hallucinogenics since then.
Well, don't worry. This film will only enhance that experience.
Mainly because of that night.
Well, I hope you enjoy this because it's a Bond film through and through. It's one to get the Bond heads up and going because what better way to enjoy James Bond than with martial arts and Popeye?
And pop art.
Yes. So.
And Andy Warhol.
We have the film on a black screen.
Popcorn classic.
We are 0.01 seconds in. This is The Dragon Lives Again, also known as The Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, made in 1977 or 1978. We don't honestly.
I have to get my legally acquired copy up. There we go. Great.
Lovely. We're on a black screen, and we are going to hit play in 3, 2, 1, go.
Burp. Oh Christ, that's loud.
There we go. Is that any better?
I turned it down myself.
Ah, okay. So this film is dedicated to the millions who love Bruce Lee and James Bond.
I was trying to turn it down so that I couldn't hear any of it. And I think that would improve the film.
Right. Evidence point 1. That is James Bond.
That's not James Bond. That's Michael Jackson.
Evidence point 2. James Bond wears a tuxedo and shoots a gun. That's point 2. Point 3. Bond theme.
Oh, I thought that was like going to be some knockoff then, but that is actually the Bond theme.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they obviously got permission, right, Dan?
Absolutely.
They got absolute copyright clearance to use that music.
Absolutely. Point 4. Bond is on a mysterious void and is red now.
He's on a mysterious void, also known as a soundstage.
Yes, but all the Bond films open with him walking through a mysterious void, so...
Well, normally it's not bright crimson red.
It is once he fires his gun, which he did do at the start of this film.
And he's not normally fighting Mr. Game & Watch cosplayers. That was a Smash reference. Because we're getting smashed.
This film also features The Godfather from the movie The Godfather.
I love that one. Is that the one where Robert De Niro shoots the guy in the fridge?
Yes.
Like
my favourite movie. I will be honest, I absolutely love this film. This is one of my all-time favourite films.
I'll be honest, I don't know what I'm watching.
Okay, so
I see words and pictures and sound and colours, but I still don't understand.
So the basic plot is this film takes place immediately after the death of Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee gets sent to hell and has to fight an army of ne'er-do-well fictional characters by teaming up with several good fictional characters to liberate hell from evil, so he can be sent back to Earth, so he can continue to kick things.
What is a more sympathetic portrayal of Bruce Lee? The Bruce Lee as portrayed in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where they portrayed him as an arrogant goody man, or this?
This.
Probably, yeah.
You'll see quite clearly that he's not somebody to be taken any nonsense from. Also, this features the man with no name from The Good, the Bad and the Ugly.
Well, he has a name. It's the man with no name.
It is. His name is Mr. No Name.
Oh my god, this is like the Avengers Endgame of 70s
It
cinema.
is.
They're all coming together. This reminds me of those, what they call, like, the disaster movie, epic movie. Do you know what I'm on
scary
about?
movie.
No, yeah, do you know what I'm on about?
Is it the Wayans brothers?
No, it's not them. It's Seltzer and Friedberg. I think they're called. Yeah. And the whole joke is, like, hello, I'm the Hulk. Oh no, here comes Borat, and he's got Paris Hilton with him, and now I'm getting attacked by Hannah Montana.
It's quickly turned into Decker versus Dracula.
This is only the title sequence. This has is that Dracula?
Yes, it is.
Is that Dr. Acula?
It is Dr. Acula. It's Alucard.
Ah.
Oh, and that's Satan in this
great.
film.
I love Castlevania.
He's brilliant.
So was Bruce Lee, I'm guessing, was actually in real life dead when they made this?
Yes. Bruce Lee had been dead, I believe, for like 6 months. They really didn't leave it.
Wouldn't that be considered some kind of like sacrilegeness?
Yes, but it would make money.
Did it make money though? Really?
No.
I mean,
well, they broke even.
I don't. Did it make money? I don't really see the fucking Arrow fucking 3-disc version of this hitting the shelves anytime soon.
In a fair and just society, this would have a 4K scan. Unfortunately, we're stuck with what we've got.
Well, Dan, you found your life's calling in life.
Do you want to know what the pain in the arse is for this? Actually,
your massive hemorrhoids. That was a very low joke.
That was a very low
Did that
joke.
Catch
like
you,
my hemorrhoids.
That caught you by the I know, Dan. That was the other joke I was making. Anyway, continue. You may continue now.
So I'll give you a quick breakdown of the history of this film's release history. Basically, the film was made in 1977, was released in 1977, and was localised in 1978 as The Deadly Hands of Kung Fu or The Dragon Lives Again. Got one UK VHS release in the early 1980s, and then it fell off the face of the earth until about 2003 when it was released on DVD.
Did it fall under the Video Recordings Act of 1983? Was it classed?
84, but yeah.
It was classed. The Margaret Thatcher government watched this and went, we can't have people watching this. And unlike all the others, they were somewhat justified with that decision. Like they didn't ban it on the grounds of taste or decency. They just looked at it and thought, oh, this is a load of shite. We cannot allow this to happen. This is my Margaret Thatcher impression, Dan. Do you like it?
I love it. I think it's great. I love the idea of her being at the BBFC, watching this movie and being all like, no, mate, not having it, mate, no.
He's got wind chimes on his head.
He has. I like to think that the BBFC watched
I'm
this.
sorry if that's really insensitive. I don't know if that's like a cultural thing. But
This is the fourth Bond film in a row where you've accidentally offended a large swathe of the population.
All right then, Dan, you tell me what that thing is.
It's a beaded curtain.
That they don't call it that, do they? They don't say,
no.
Pass me my beaded curtain hat.
No, but how do you see the joke? It makes it look like he's got a big stiffy. Hang
on, so where? Sorry, I'm showing my insensitivity again. When was who, what, when, where, why, how was this film made? Where was it made, Dan? Where does it originate from, this film?
This is going to be really unhelpful. Asia.
It's massive believed to have been racist.
It's believed it was either shot in China or Taiwan. We're not entirely sure.
You are a massive racist. You're going to lose our Chinese fan. He's gonna unsubscribe now thanks to your fucking white imperialist fucking cultural insensitivity.
There is very little information on this film available.
The reason I ask is because they just played a bit of the intro bars to Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas, which is an American record that was made to cash in on the whole Kung Fu martial arts craze. So, is this film an example of the martial arts craze, or is it a reaction to the martial arts craze?
I'm going to be
that
completely honest
took a
with
lot
you.
Of effort.
I think you're reading too far into this. I think they basically wanted to capitalise on the death of Bruce Lee, and they pulled Kung Fu Fighting because it had the word Kung Fu in it.
And the word fighting, which happens in the film.
In the exact same way that the film opened with the James Bond theme, because they probably looked up the word James Bond and found that piece of music and went, oh, it's the James Bond theme.
They looked up, what was the 70s version of Wikipedia?
Bookapedia.
Paperpedia.
Librapedia.
Do some actual work yourself-apedia.
Lazy bastardpedia.
I imagine that was probably fine. I imagine they called up fucking Cubby Broccoli and John Barry and said, we want to use your music. Who are you? We're just some guys. And Cubby Broccoli chomped on his cigar and went, sure, kid, you can use the movie, whatever.
You want us to send Roger Moore over? Nah, that's all right. We're good. We've got a guy.
Roger Moore was in a Bond parody. He was in the Cannonball Run.
Oh, yeah.
Starring Burt Reynolds.
Yes. So, what happened was this film got a DVD release in 2003 and then it disappeared off the face of the earth again. And in the time between that DVD release and now, both the VHS copy, which is actually better quality than the DVD release, and this DVD release are out of print and prohibitively expensive. The last price I saw a copy of this film on VHS go for was 50 quid.
Who owns the copyright on this film? I'm assuming they're dead now.
So it was distributed in 2003 under a label called Vengeance Video. I think this film might be part, and I'm not even making this up, I think this film might actually be owned by the Wu-Tang Clan.
Really?
Yeah.
That would really impress my friend. His favourite band is the Wu-Tang Clan, and I might go and tell him. I might go and tell him that now. In fact, if I mention this film, he might know it.
Well, this is the thing.
RZA, the leader of the Wu-Tang Clan. He loves his kung fu films. He loves his chopsaki films. And if you listen to any Wu-Tang album, you'll find on every other track they always sample like they won't just sample lines from kung fu films. They'll sample like whole scenes. Like
Yeah.
like there'll be Wu-Tang songs that will the whole intro, the whole first minute will just be like a scene from like an old Bruce Lee film or an old Chop Socky film, and then the song will start. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Wu-Tang track somewhere that samples some aspect of this film.
Oh, I could believe it. Well, this is the thing. In the early 2000s, the Wu-Tang Clan were sort of looking to invest in stuff. So they just bought up the rights to a shit ton of really cheap martial arts movies.
Well, I think that RZA wanted to do it because I think that, like, they were always getting permission to, like, sample all these old movies. So I think he was like, well, why don't we just buy them and then we can sample them to our heart's content because we'll own the rights to them. I've seen the Wu-Tang Clan live.
Were they any good?
They were brilliant, Dan. I actually, I went to see them. They were on a thing a few years ago called the Gods of Rap Tour. And
I remember that one. De La Soul were playing that night as well, weren't they?
That's right. That's what I was going to get to. So it was a package tour. It was them, De La Soul, and Public Enemy. And I went. My mate, like I said, is a huge Wu-Tang fan, and he had a spare ticket, which he sold me. So I went thinking, well, I don't know much about the Wu-Tang Clan, so I thought, well, I like De La Soul. I'll enjoy them, and I like Public Enemy. I'll enjoy them, and then I thought, well, and I'll stick around for Wu-Tang because they're the main attraction, and they were so great. Like they really blew the fucking roof off. And my a relative of mine actually works at the MEN. It's not called the MEN anymore, but everyone in Manchester calls it that. The Manchester Arena. It used to be called the MEN. It's not called that anymore, but every single person in Manchester calls it the MEN. And he works as like a yellow coat, like a staff member at the arena. And he does like security and things and gigs. And he told me he was telling us once that the Wu-Tang Clan was like a nightmare because they were just like he said, they were just like pure rock and roll, just like pure drink, drugs, fucking crazy people, and they were a nightmare to deal with. I thought, that sounds great. Yeah, wish I was backstage. Jesus Christ, yeah. But the Wu-Tang Clan were really good, and De La Soul turned out to be not as good. So it was a weird inversion. I ended up not enjoying the band I'd come to see, but really getting into the band who I thought, I'll see him, I guess.
Well, yeah, they De La tended to get a little bit harder after the Daisy Age stuff, didn't they? So I imagine they kind of are still a little bit,
No. They never. They did, but I mean, like, they didn't go full gangster rap. They did songs that parodied gangster rap, which, when at the height of gangster rap, was probably not a good idea if you want to sell some records. Because if people have to choose between you and fucking Snoop Dogg, if people have to choose between you, and they're always going to go for the gin and juice. You know, it's no competition really, is it? No. While we're having this very interesting conversation, I've just noticed Popeye's on the screen.
Yes, so Popeye is one of the good guys in this film, and he's really impressed that Bruce Lee is in hell. Oh yeah, this film opens with the premise that Bruce Lee died and went to hell.
That's very respectful to. Also, didn't Bruce Lee have an amazingly devout fan base?
Yes.
Millions upon millions of people. I might be getting this wrong, but wasn't it like millions of people attended his funeral, or they watched his funeral or something like that? He was such an icon at the time.
This film literally opens with a caption saying this film is dedicated to the millions of fans who love Bruce Lee.
Is it really, though, when you have a film where you have the guy who you say is this big guy going to hell? Well, if you go to hell, that means you've done something bad.
Yes.
So
I want to know what Popeye did to end up in hell.
He liked to touch people.
He coveted Bluto's ox.
He hashtag me too.
Oh God.
His arms were big for a reason, Dan.
Why did James Bond... Okay, well, I've just answered my own question. Why did James Bond go to hell? Well, where do we begin?
What a fucking stupid question. Of course James Bond went to hell. He's a cunt. That one is fairly logical.
Yeah, as soon as the words started to leave my mouth, I was like, oh, wait, yeah, he's a twat. Fair enough.
When I saw Public Enemy, they didn't have Flavor Flav there because he was getting fired from the band at the time. So they didn't have anyone running on stage going, "Yeah, boy," after every line.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, it was just Chuck D and someone else.
So where was I?
You were talking about how much of a horrible racist you are for not knowing who Bruce Lee is.
So the physical release.
The only Bruce Lee I have is on the Batman. I think you're more into kung fu films than I am. The only Bruce Lee thing I have is on the Batman Blu-ray, because they did an episode which was a crossover with the Green Hornet and Kato.
Oh right.
Yeah, it's it's Batman 66. That's my review of it. That should tell you all you need to know about it.
Well, this is
like when they're doing one of the climbing on the wall gags in Batman.
Yeah.
And someone like Sammy Davis Jr. or like fucking Kojak will fucking pop out the window or something, and they had like Green Hornet and Kato did that. What are you doing here? Get lost, all that sort of stuff.
Well, this is the thing, though. I mean, I've seen quite a few Bruce Lee films, but I haven't seen as many as I'd like. I think I've seen about 4 or 5 out of his entire filmography. Oh, here comes James Bond again.
That's not James Bond.
Skeleton Army.
Oh, those are the blokes from the video for Around the World by Daft Punk.
Yes. Oh, this is one of my favourite scenes in the film.
The dubbing is exceptional.
Love it. You should hear James Bond's line in a minute. It's really good.
It's like the voices are in the room. I know it's low hanging fruit.
Here it is.
Oh.
Perfect Bond line.
Why does Bond sound like he's from Louisiana? Hey, this guy's a real jerk.
He's been hanging around with J.W. Peppard in hell for too long after he was executed.
This guy's a real SOB.
This guy reckons himself a real Rudy Toot. Let's teach him a lesson.
This guy's a tosser.
What a prat.
What a yeah, I mean I know it's low hanging fruit to make fun of bad dubbing in films like this, because it's kind of like making fun of bad front projection in old films. It's like, well, that's like every film was like that. The dubbing was bad. People just put up with it. But
effectively.
So is the martial arts I know you said you weren't a massive fan, but you probably know more about it than I do. Is the martial arts in this film considered good? Like, is it good martial arts? And why does Bond have sideburns?
Because he's in hell, he can do what he likes now.
He's James Bond. James Bond doesn't have sideburns.
Do you reckon Q went with him to hell?
He did not get his hair cut like he was running a Carnaby Street fucking boutique.
He's in hell, he can do what he wants. In fact, they actually established this in hell with a very clever line at the beginning of the film where they say that when a person dies, their spirit looks different to their physical form, which is why Bruce Lee doesn't look exactly like Bruce Lee.
Well, it's a bit strange though, isn't it? A bit strange though that because like presumably the people watching this film know going in that it's not Bruce Lee. You don't have to put a line in that's like justifies why it's not Bruce Lee.
In fairness, though, if you asked me to describe what James Bond's spirit looked like in 1977, I'd say it was pretty bob on for that.
He'd look a bit like a Viz character, I'd say.
Yeah. Barry Bond.
Barry Bond. Derek Bond.
Yes. Yeah, so you asked about the martial artistry in this film. Basically, it's not bad, but it's not great. Like, some of it looks really good. The way that most people tend to, or at least I tend to review martial artistry.
He's getting the fear.
He's getting the fear.
It's kicking in.
He just starts playing Ebenezer Good.
He's going to start going on about the wallpaper in a minute.
Yeah, no.
Why Scatman John not in this film? Everyone else is.
It's because Scatman John was alive at this point and not in hell.
Everyone's stuck as one way or the other, so check out my message to you. As a matter of fact, don't let nothing hold you back. If the Scatman can do it, then you fucking can as well.
On your bike.
He had a really nice tash.
So here's an interesting development. There is a doctor's in hell.
There's a what in hell?
A doctor's office in hell.
He is seriously hurt.
Seriously. The way that people tend to judge martial arts in these films are how well it masks the lack of contact with punches.
Yeah.
And also how creative the fight sequences are. I think it does an okay job of masking punches and masking kicks and making them look like they're actually landing. But in terms of actual choreography, I don't think there's really anything massively special here. It's just kind of like it is what it is. Middle of the road. But, you know, they do a reasonable job with the direction on it. And I don't think a lot of people are really watching this for the martial artistry. They're watching it for the what the foot factor like this.
Well, when you say a lot of people are watching this, but they're not, are they?
No, we are watching this today.
Did anyone watch this at the time? This might be the first time anyone's watched this. This is the first, Dan.
We're going into strange new places.
Hell's very considerate, isn't it? You got a doctor's office with a talking skeleton.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you about the time? Did I tell you about the time I saw a talking skeleton?
No, you didn't. Please do though.
That's a thing I saw. I was in America, and I was it was a 6-hour flight, and I was really, really bored. So I had a copy of Nintendo 64 magazine, and there was
available in all good retailers.
Available in all good retailers in 1998. Yes, and you just need a time machine first, and £2. So which in today's money is probably like 2 billion yen. So then they had a feature on Castlevania 64. And there was a big skeleton on the cover. So because I was so bored and they hadn't invented smartphones yet, I just read that magazine cover to cover, back to back. And then when I got to the hotel room, I saw a skeleton fly across the room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think I'd broken my own brain a bit by reading that magazine onto back to front. And then I started thinking I was Simon Belmont. It was a really unpleasant 24 hours.
Did a nice 16-bit soundtrack sort of play in the background as the skeleton flew around? Or...
No, it was Castlevania 64, so what probably happened is the skeleton probably went sort of mid-hotel and then mid-flight and then it just kind of stopped. And then the fucking TV just kind of broke down.
That's
probably what happened.
So the release history of this film... so it had a VHS release and DVD release.
That's not a funny story. That's a very deeply horrible thing that happened to me. How dare you?
What a hilarious adventure, Ben.
I think you're disgusting. Anyway, carry on.
Oh, this is the baddie's lair, by the way. You can tell it's the baddie's lair because they're all sat around smoking.
Groovy.
Mucha muchacha.
You can tell it's the baddie's lair because they're listening to Stars Go 45 version of...
Of Dancing Queen.
Drinking game. Let's drink every time they drink. Or, let's finish a bottle every time they have a sip.
Every time they say a line.
Just see what happens.
Just drink, mate.
That's why I don't like drinking games. My version of a drinking game would just be when the shot changes. Take a sip.
Take a drink. Yeah, that's Emmanuelle, by the way, from the Emmanuelle series of pornography videos. Why she's... And again, I've just answered my own question. Now, why is she in hell? Being lusty isn't really a moral crime, is it?
Dan, lust is one of the 7 deadly sins.
Well, yeah, but it's not like...
Have you not seen that Kevin Spacey film? You know, the one about the talking cat?
House of Cards?
No, the one about the talking cat. That's all about the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, I've seen Baby Boss. I know the score.
Baby Boss. Boss Baby.
I'm with the kids. I'm hip. I got my iPods.
No, that Kevin Spacey film where he murdered that guy. Oh no, wait, that was real life. Never mind.
Anyway. So the release history of this film, after the DVD and the VHS became ludicrously expensive and were about 50 quid each, they released a Blu-ray version of this film. But two problems with it. One...
I can think of several problems, Dan.
Three problems with it, actually, thinking about it. One, it was region locked. It would only play on American players, so I couldn't buy a copy even if I wanted to.
Fuck you, Americans.
Yeah. Two, it was limited to 100 copies only. They weren't making any more than that.
Oh no, what a shame.
I know. And three, I found out after the fact that basically it wasn't a new transfer. They just basically copied the old videotape release onto Blu-ray in 720p and then burnt it to a disc with a commentary from some fans, and that was it.
Well, kind of like what we're doing.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So,
every cloud.
So what you're seeing here is more or less what's on the Blu-ray. It's just a little bit more stable.
You say all this like it's some sort of like there's some massive fan base clamouring for the release, but by massive fan base, it's an audience of one, and that one is you.
Me.
Yes. I don't see a Dragon Lives Again fucking Reddit. I don't see a Dragon Lives Again Criterion fucking collection.
What I want is
tell me what you want.
Just
tell me what you want.
What I really, really want.
I want a Ziggy Zaggy. I don't know about you.
I just want
don't
this.
sigh exacerbatedly at my really good joke.
I just want this scanned at 2K with a commentary from Kim Newman and Mark Kermode under the Criterion label.
Commentary,
is that so much to ask?
Commentary by Peter Bradshaw and Roger Ebert. but Ben, Roger Ebert's dead. No, it's not. It just uses. You can just use clips from his TV show and just stitch them together.
Just do that creepy ass thing they did with John Lennon in the 2000s, where they synthesized his voice and had him sell Apple Mac computers.
The Dragon Lives Again is one of my favourite movies.
2 thumbs up.
What do you think, Gene? I thought it was a load of shit. For some reason, they've made the synthesized Gene Siskel criticise it.
Yeah.
I guess to add value. I thought it was a load of shit, Roger.
Well, Gene, come back when you have a sense of humour.
I bet they would have loved this film.
They would have. 10 out of 10, mate. Oscar winner. This is my Oscar pick for next year. So, quick summary of what we've missed in between here whilst we've been rambling. Basically, Bruce Lee has gone to the gambling district of Hell, because Hell has a gambling district, and made gambling illegal because he won all the gambles.
Wait, so Hell has laws?
Yes.
Is that Barbra Streisand?
No. Might be, actually.
Looks
I think
like
it is.
This film seems to have a very cavalier attitude to copyright and IPs. So,
which is why I like it.
That's Dan. You know you were ranting before about why this hasn't got some prestige release. That's probably why, because they'd have to clear all of it. And what would be the point?
Well, this is the thing. You see, actually, it's currently got its own copyright, so I'm not exactly sure how this works.
Do you think it's under some sort of like maybe like a fair use like parody thing? Kind of like what the movies we were talking about earlier do.
Quite possibly. I think that's probably the only way it's managed to get a DVD release, is that they argued that it was fair use for parody.
Yeah, but you still have that snatch of Bond music at the start. And
yeah.
you can't just use that for parody. You need to pay for that. So that's not going to be cheap.
No, that would probably be the cost of this entire film's budget.
And somehow I can't see MGM, with their gigantic financial losses at the moment, forking up the money for that. Or Sony, with their gigantic financial losses. Or Warner Brothers, with their gigantic financial losses. Or Paramount, with their gigantic financial losses. Or all studios ever, with their gigantic financial losses. Oh my god, Dan, you didn't tell me there was going to be naughty things in this.
Yeah.
Dan, this isn't suitable. Why didn't you tell me this?
Did you know that this film is rated, I believe it's 12 in the UK on DVD?
Turn this video off immediately. This is not okay. It's not allowed.
I'm calling the police.
I'm calling the church police. The church police.
Prepare to be saved. Dan and Ben go very quiet for the bath scene.
I'm going quiet because I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking at and listening at and feeling.
So, right, here's the backstory. So Bruce Lee has gone to hell, and the King of Hell he's not called Satan, he's called the King of Hell, has said to him that basically...
Satan, I guess, technically is the King of Hell.
Well, yeah, but calling him the King of Hell... No. So he's
they probably
basically
they probably don't call him that in Asia.
They could call him Satan, Beelzebub, the Devil, Baphomet. I don't know, anything. The King of Hell.
Mephistopheles. Oh no, he's a character in Cats. I guess that's kind of like Hell. It's very
Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, Cats is very similar to Hell.
Yeah.
It shares many of the same traits. A void of no escape.
Not that far off.
And Taylor Swift's CGI cat bum.
So here's what's happened and what you've missed. So the King of Hell has sent Bruce Lee wakes up in hell, and the King of Hell has basically said, you're stuck here, you're not going anywhere, clear off. And Bruce Lee says, is there a chance you can send me back to Earth? And the King of Hell said, yes there is, but I'm not doing it for you, mate, goodbye. He then sent him to hell. In hell, Bruce Lee immediately beat up a load of people, went to the gambling district, won all the money out of the gambling district just by being really good at gambling.
Wait, so
then using...
Hell has a currency?
Yes, hell dollars.
What's the currency?
It's worth $1 Canadian.
Hell euros.
Yes.
Euros.
The hell euros.
What the fuck was that noise?
God, the synths are attacking.
Well, that just perms my hair.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
No, it's not, Dan. It's not good.
So he basically won all the money in hell from gambling.
What do you reckon the source material for this was? Do you think it was based on like a novel or a play?
Cocaine.
Based on Wikipedia, based on an original story by Cocaine. Cocaine wrote the film.
This film has been brought to you by Paint Thinner. So he used all the money that he won from gambling and winning all the money in hell to shut down the gambling district in hell. So gambling is now illegal under Bruce Lee.
But like again, I know I said this before, but why does hell have laws?
Why does hell have police?
Why does hell have doctors?
These are questions, Ben, that this film does not have the time to tell you why. Should know.
And why does no one in hell have their dialogue sync up to their mouth movements?
Hell seems like a not too bad place, I'll be honest with you.
I mean, they say hell is other people. And by other people, what they meant was a load of characters we couldn't get copyright on.
Like Popeye or
Popeye.
Monkey.
Is Popeye in the public domain?
You know, I don't know. Let me double check.
I bet he wasn't at the time.
Hang on.
Bond certainly isn't, or wasn't, or ever will.
Popeye the Sailor is one of the most recognisable comic book characters and has recently fallen into public domain in Europe.
Recently, though.
Yes.
Not in the 70s.
No.
So you could do it now.
Yes.
But you can't have Sideburnsy Bond swanning about.
No. Sideburnsy Bond, it doesn't count. So having done all of these good deeds, Bruce Lee has now teamed up with Popeye and Monkey from the show Monkey Journey to the West, or is it Journey to the East?
Journey to the West.
Journey to the West. And they are now the good guys of this film. I thought Bruce Lee was the good guy. Bruce Lee is a good guy.
So
he's the leader of this team of Popeye and Monkey.
He just hit him with his arse.
He did. Arse powers activate.
Form of an arse. Do you think your audience would like it if I banged my glass against the table on the microphone?
You can give it a go. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Some ASMR shit there.
Yeah.
For the weirdos among you.
Meanwhile, this is the next bit. Meanwhile, the bad guys are trying to figure out a way to kill the King of Hell so that they can all become joint kings of Hell and just run it their own way.
But you can't be a joint king of Hell. Satan's the king of Hell.
Yeah, but once you've killed Satan, these 5 people would basically become the Hell government.
Dostoevsky said that Hell was nothing more than a room with a chair in it. This set has several chairs in it. So, just saying.
Ben's conspiracy theory is that this isn't Hell.
It is Hell. They filmed it in so it's obviously Hell.
Meanwhile...
I made fun of the place you're from.
Meanwhile...
Send your angry letters to... I was going to say your email address, but you just beep it, so I'll just say a fake one. Send it to danisapooiebum at lovelines.com.
Meanwhile, the King of Satan's harem...
The King of Hell, the King of Satan.
The King of
Jesus
Hell,
Christ,
Satan.
this film's not hard to follow. It's not a Dostoevsky Tchaikovsky play. It's not written by William Shakespeare. It's written by Bruce Lee.
Meanwhile...
What? I'm so good at this. You're rubbish at this. I'm better than you at this.
Meanwhile...
I should be doing this show.
Meanwhile...
This is my show now. Hi, everyone.
Meanwhile, the King of Hell's harem have seen Bruce Lee being super sexy and illegalizing gambling. So they've decided they want to sleep with him. So the harem have now decided Satan is shit and they don't want him and they want Bruce Lee's cock.
I thought it was harem. Why are you saying it with a hard R? I thought it was harem.
It's a harem.
I thought it was harem.
It can be harem or harem or harem.
As a man who has held many harems in his time, I think I should know.
As a man who has danced many harems away, I think I should know.
You're talking to Mr. Harem over here. That's my name.
Oh yeah, they started a fight on a bridge, and when they got to the other side of the bridge, they ended up in a quarry.
They're in the one where Star Trek. They're in the one where Star Trek fights the monster. Do you remember that one, Dan? Where Star Trek fought the monster?
I remember the Star Trek monster one. That was a good one.
That was great. Do you remember the one where Doctor Who fought the Star Trek?
Yeah. So,
I'd rather be watching right now.
Go on.
Death to the Daleks.
Good film. Good show. Good episode. Good omnibus.
Not a film, Dan. You silly nana.
They did an omnibus. An omnibus is just a long TV show.
Look out! A floor. So the best cliffhanger in television. John Pertwee and a man looking at a floor and going, "Look out!"
So where we're currently at now is Bruce Lee is aware of the bad guys and needs to get rid of the bad guys because he thinks if he gets rid of the bad guys, the King of Hell will send him back to Earth as a nice gift for dealing with these baddies.
What if it's all a dream, though?
It is.
No, I mean, like, what if he, at the end of it, he wakes up and goes, "It was all a dream." Looks right at the camera, and then it ends.
Turns out he's been buried alive.
So he's been buried alive. The film is his death hallucination.
He opens his eyes and goes, "Oh, it was all a dream. Oh, hang on, I've been buried alive. Well, I've got 10 minutes left. Bye."
Oh no, this is the dream. And then in real life, he's being hung, drawn and quartered.
And then he goes, "Oh, hang on a minute, this is the dream." And then it turns out he's actually Oliver Reed in The Devil's about to be burnt at the stake.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful delivery. Now where the dragon?
Well, I don't know the story for again, you probably know more about this. These really crappy early dubs. I imagine they just got some actors in. It probably took them about an hour or two. And the direction was probably, see the words on the page, say those words.
Yeah, so basically the way that it worked was there was a troupe who I don't know their exact names because they're never really credited for any of this work. But it was generally stock English people doing American accents or Carry On impersonations.
Well, I know that they had. I know they had whole like gangs of people doing that. In fact, Harry Shearer was in one of those gangs of people who would do dubs. He's in Star Wars. You ever noticed that?
Is he?
Yep. He's the in when the Millennium Falcon is on the Death Star for the first time, and there's a line where a stormtrooper is or someone Imperial says something like, "Get 2 guys on there and 1 at the front," and that's Harry Shearer. And when you know it's him
blimey.
and you hear it, it's so obviously him.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah. Harry Shearer's been in all things. It's really bizarre.
Well, I can tell you now that all of the people doing the voice work in this went on to only ever do these kind of films.
You mean films that no one saw ever?
Yeah, there's at least 4, maybe 5 of them I've watched that have had the exact same voice actors doing the dub. And they've all done exactly the same thing, which is either they're an English person desperately trying to do an American accent and failing miserably, or they're doing the best Kenneth Williams, Sid James, Hattie Jakes, Carry On, Barbara Windsor style impersonation, and that's it. They're literally just doing Carry On voices.
Is that Elvis in the white suit?
Yeah, of course, James Bond and Emmanuel are together in this film.
You have not answered my question, Dan. Is that Elvis in the white suit?
Oh no, that's the Godfather from the film series Francis Ford Coppola's Godfather.
No, mate, that's Elvis.
No, it's the Godfather, mate.
That's what. Why is he? If it's not Elvis, why is he saying "I'm all shook up"?
Didn't
think of that, did you?
The Godfather, mate.
No, it's not. It's Elvis. He's just told her to love me tender. That is clearly Elvis Presley in his fat phase. He's got the white jumpsuit and everything. You know, Elvis, for some reason, Elvis Presley always reminds me of the guy who found Scientology.
This has all gone a bit Me Too, I'll be honest with you.
L. Ron Hubbard, that was his name.
Yes.
Why do I always think of those two as connected in my head? I don't know why. Maybe it's because they were both fat.
It's because they both enjoyed deep fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
I think it's because there's recordings of both of them doing public speaking, and they're both just like, I don't know.
Ben, you've already sailed close to the wind with the racism on this one. Let's try and keep it.
No, that wasn't racist. I was doing an impression of L. Ron Hubbard when he was in his latter years. There was a period when I was really into watching videos about Scientology, and there's a recording of L. Ron Hubbard doing some speech, and he's so off the plot, and he's just like, he gets up and he's like, remember, this guy's like the messiah of... Tom Cruise worships this guy, and he was like, fucking aliens are gonna come and get us all.
Someday I'd like to be in that position.
You'd like to be a Scientologist? You can become a Scientologist, Dan, for the low price of $12,000.
I have £500 and a Kit Kat Chunky.
What Thetan level are you?
I don't need a Thetan level. Where I'm going, I've got all access.
Where we're going, we don't need no Thetan roads.
Okay, so the bad guys have decided that the plan to get rid of Bruce Lee is to send Emmanuel over to his apartment and basically have her shag him to death.
Right, she's going to seduce him into doing a bad... That's the end of my sentence.
That's literally it. She's going to shag him to death.
So where does Elvis fit into all this?
The Godfather from the Francis Ford Coppola Godfather movie has literally nothing to do in this film apart from at the very end when he fights Bruce Lee.
Oh, I hope Elvis gets to sing Little Less Conversation.
Unfortunately not.
The JXL version.
Unfortunately, he does not. However, He does get to use
come
a
on,
stick.
baby. Come on, baby. I'm tired of talking. Grab your coat and let's start shagging.
I really think that they should have utilised James Bond's espionage skills a bit more in this film. He doesn't really do a lot.
I really think they should have turned the cameras off. Just gone home.
Just called it, mate.
Just do anything except make a crappy knockoff.
I would have thought you'd have quite liked this film, Ben. It's got everything you could possibly want. It's got James Bond, girls, explosions,
but
kung
if you
fu
want
fighting.
if you want to watch a good Bond knockoff, you should have stuck on Operation Kid Brother. You ever heard of that?
I have heard of that, yes.
I bet you have. Did you find that in your research?
I did.
Yeah, that's another Italian film. You like Italian films. You like The Godfather.
It might turn up at some point.
It's got.
She didn't get to do sex with Bruce Lee, and now she's sad.
I liked her little, "Oh, you bad man" body acting.
So this is an official Bond film.
So why is Elvis in an official Bond film, Dan? I don't understand.
Because, I mean, if J.W. Pepper can be in a Bond film, Elvis certainly can. And funnily enough, this film came out the year Elvis died. So,
do you think this is a sequel to the 1968 Elvis film Clanbake?
I think it's a sequel to the 1968 film Clanbake, but I also think it's a sequel to the 1967 film Casino Royale.
Maybe it's a prequel to the 1969 Elvis film Change of Habit.
Oh God, this is a sequel to Casino Royale, because at the end of that film, Woody Allen blows everybody up, and a load of them go to heaven, but Peter Sellers' Bond goes to hell because he got snubbed by Princess Anne.
No. Oh, that was funny. No, Woody Allen goes to hell. Peter Sellers' Bond has been wiped from existence because he was such a fucking cunt. Even Orson Welles. I bet Orson Welles is in heaven.
Probably is, trying to sell people frozen fish sticks.
I'm doing this. I don't know if we discussed this earlier, Dan, but I decided I'd do this commentary in Orson Welles mode. But Orson Welles in his later years when he was fat and drunk.
Yes.
Oh, the French. The French. Oh, it's very good.
And what better way to enjoy The Dragon Lives Again than with a Baudelaire strong, resilient.
That was an amazing Orson Welles impression.
Thank you.
Like
I worked on it for ages.
It's like he was inside my ear.
Yeah, I tried my best with it. That was a highly polished performance.
That was like John Candy's version of Orson Welles. He did that on SC. What was that show they were on? SCTV.
Oh, SCTV.
Yeah. Or John Candy did Orson Welles on that. It was very funny. Him and Billy Crystal did a little sketch. It was about how Orson Welles was fat, because that was the joke.
So those two are members of the harem of the Court of the King of Hell.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say members of Mensa. So Dan, why is Elvis running this harem?
Elvis isn't running the harem. The harem is run by the King of Hell.
I clearly heard him say Elvis is running the harem. That was the line.
No. It's run by the King of Hell.
Dan, I'm looking at the Wikipedia for this film, and it clearly says Elvis at the end has a fight with Popeye, and
Elvis doesn't fight Popeye.
No, Dan, I'm looking at the Reddit of this film, and it clearly says Elvis
Ben
does a song at the end.
I am looking at the OnlyFans of this film.
Dan, I'm looking at Elvis's OnlyFans, and it's not good. He's really out of shape, Dan.
Ben, I am looking at an article on my Apple Watch for this film.
Dan, I am reading Elvis's biography by Albert Goldman, and it clearly says Elvis was a fat redneck idiot who appeared in a film called The Dragon Lives Again. That's all the book says, actually. It's 200 pages, but it's only got that sentence in it. It's really weird.
Ben, I have left a question on our manosphere about whether Elvis is in The Dragon Lives Again.
I might do that now, actually.
And
where's the fucking laptop? Oh no, my laptop. Oh no, it died. Sorry.
The majority of the responses back have been very misogynistic, but it's generally accepted that Elvis is not in this film.
Shall we ring my dad and ask him if Elvis was in this film?
Yes, you should.
I don't want to call my dad. It'd be mean. He won't know what I'm
just
talking.
Ring him and say,
he won't know.
"Hi, Dad. Is Elvis in The Dragon Lives Again?" And he goes, "What?" And you go, "Thanks." You see, and then you hang up.
He won't know what I'm talking about.
I like the fact that Bruce Lee's bedroom has posters of Bruce Lee's films and Bruce Lee.
There's a poster of Elvis there as well, if you see.
Now, Ben, I have checked our incel, and I've also checked our black pill, and both of them say that Elvis was not in this film.
Hang on, while it is, I'm just going to go on our Elvis. I'm just finding out. I'm going to post about this film. So we'll just.
Okay. So quick heads up for people who are paying attention. The two members of the
I'm not included in that, apparently.
Two members of the harem of the King of Hell have broke into Bruce Lee's apartment and kidnapped his love interest. I think it's his love interest.
Why is Elvis's love interest in this film, Dan?
And then they've transformed into look like a love interest in
an
an attempt
ignoring
to sleep
me
with
now.
Bruce Lee.
He's getting very annoyed with me because I keep talking about Elvis.
I'm quite happy for you to talk about Elvis.
He's going to cut all this and make him look good and make me look bad.
The whole commentary comes to 3 minutes long and it's just me going, and then it had a DVD release and then it ends.
But Dan, your kisses lift me higher. Like a
Higher
sweet song
higher.
on the fire. You like my morning sky. Just generally.
Burning Love.
Burning Love, trademark.
Burning Love will be available on compact CD, vinyl record and 8-track starting from next year.
You get out of here, you crazy broad. Hey, you crazy SOB. You crazy floozy. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here, Elvis. What are you doing in this film? Why are you in this film, Elvis?
You know, actually, this film couldn't afford Elvis, Ben. If you look close enough, it's actually Orion.
You know who really liked this film?
Go on.
Dave the Animal
Elvis?
Perry from... Dave the Animal Perry from the Channel 4 game show Games Master.
Oh, nice. Do you know who else really liked this film?
Who else liked this film, Dan?
Dominic Diamond from the hit Channel 4 TV show Games Master.
They used to watch it together before taping an episode of hit Channel 4 show Games Master.
They did, and Dave the Animal Perry would turn to Dominic Diamond and go, "Elvis is my favourite character in this film," and Dominic Diamond would say, "He's not in this film."
No,
and then
Dominic
Dave the Animal
Diamond
Perry
would say, "What do you think, Patrick Moore, former host of The Sky at Night?" And he would
say, "I am dead."
He was, and he would say nothing because he is dead.
Yes,
like Elvis.
Yes. Oh yeah. So
do you think when Dave the Animal Perry was on Games Master and he was beaten at a children's game on live television and he had a big paddy? Do you think he was thinking of the bit in this film when Popeye punches James Bond?
Yes. Yes, he was.
Do you think he was thinking of the bit where Elvis sings "That's All Right, Mama" while they fight the skeleton men from around the world?
No, that he was actually thinking of "Way Down," but you know.
What was that?
That's the song from Elvis.
I don't know. Who you on about? Who's Elvis?
He's like Orion. Do you remember Orion? The man who would be king?
I've never heard of him. You're talking crazy talk. I know who you're on about.
Okay.
There's no such person as Elvis, Dan. Jesus Christ.
So these two harem people were going to poison Bruce Lee and turn him into a lizard, but they accidentally ended up drinking the lizard potion, and now they've both turned into part lizard, part women.
Oh, is that why they've got like weird shit on their face?
Yes.
That just looks very, very inappropriate.
Yes, it does.
He's still got like a bead thing on his head.
He has. It's a traditional headset. That was wonderful.
Do you think when Elvis was watching this film, do you think like maybe he was having his last can of Coke and his last like double meat feast pizza before he,
I remember it
stuffed
well,
his lid?
funnily enough. It was on one of his last shows. He came out on stage and he said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoy the show. Before I go any further, I just need to tell you about a film that really moved me tonight. A film called Dragon Lives Again. And I was eating a beautiful big pepperoni pizza and some Frosties because they're great.
You stole my joke, you dick.
And please, no autographs, not till after the show, baby.
Give credit where credit's due.
And I
used to, ladies. I'm not talking to you now. I'm talking to them. I used to get really, really drunk in university. Shock horror, and I used to sing the Frosties and the R Whites jingles as Elvis, and it was really funny at the time. It's probably not very funny now when I say it in the cold light of day, but I assure you it was really good at the time. And Dan is trying to co-opt my masterpiece.
If I remember correctly, Ben, flashing back to that, I was the one who actually refined your joke because you came out with, imagine if Elvis did advertisements. And, I think yours was, I'd rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops. And you then did Frosties, they're great, but you did it as Tony the Tiger. You did the proper Frosties, they're great. And I said, you should just be dead null. And he was like, Frosties, they're great.
No, that was my joke.
No, that was my joke.
No, that was my joke, Dan.
No, you started that joke, but I refined it because I remember you absolutely pissing yourself when I did it the first time.
Oh dear, the rift begins.
We've started. You can see the stage door.
I think they were past the point of I know it's giving a shit, but they probably didn't. They probably gave less than a shit, a quarter of a shit.
It's been decimalised.
2/3 of a shit. Well, this was before decimalisation.
Oh no, a note we can't read because there's no subtitles for it.
Dan, you're a horrible racist. You can't just assume everyone speaks in English, you giant BMP xenophobe.
Oh, speaking of which, here comes Decca versus Dracula.
Why is Elvis playing Dracula in this scene?
Why is Elvis playing the skeleton army in this scene? And why is Bruce Lee suddenly dressed as Kato?
Because he played Kato in the TV show.
Yeah, so, but that
actually makes some sense.
No. What I'm asking is, why is he dressed as him now? What's the point of him being dressed as him now? Not that'd be like, if like Adam West went everywhere dressed as Batman.
There was a point where he did do that.
Yeah, but that made his divorce court trials very awkward.
What was I going to say? Did you see that Green Hornet film they made with Seth Rogen and Christoph Waltz?
I did not. I was too busy watching this film.
On a loop. All through 2011.
This is one of my favourite films, Ben. I watch this pretty regularly.
You can't talk. You can't say that in such a proud tone.
It's a great movie.
You said that in the same way you just told me your girlfriend is pregnant and is just giving birth now.
Hang on, let me.
I've watched this film many times. I love it more than my own children. And in a way,
I would probably give up my children for it.
And in a way, have my children made The Dragon Lives Again? No, fuck them.
Ben, this has 295 ratings on IMDb and currently sits at a ranking of 5.5 out of 10.
Does that put it in the IMDb bottom 200?
No.
It might do.
No. There are some places... I mean, I've reviewed films on here that have had 2 stars and have had like 30 ratings and that's it.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Things aren't looking good for Kato.
Why didn't James Rolfe mention this film when he did his comparison of all the Dracula films? Why didn't he talk about this one, Dan? Is it because he's a racist?
No, Ben, it's because this isn't a Dracula film. This is a James Bond film.
I might comment on this video now and call him a racist. Just to see what happens, really.
It wouldn't make sense, Ben, for James Rolfe, the film critic, to talk about this as a Dracula film, because it's not a Dracula film. This is a James Bond movie.
No, it's an Elvis film.
No, it's a James Bond movie, Ben. We've got the evidence already all here.
No, this was an Elvis film. This was made while he was in the army.
No, mate.
He was fighting the Germans and they made this film. Don't you remember?
Oh, yeah, so this is the bit where Emmanuel tries to shag Satan to death.
Why is Elvis shagging that Asian woman?
Yes. Oh, God. So, Ben, what's your favourite James Bond movie?
Probably Jailhouse Rock.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. It's got a good... Elvis is really good in that. Either that or King Carole or Loving You.
You know, Ben, if you like Elvis that much, I can have it arranged that we do Viva Las Vegas at some point.
I'd prefer not. I will say Viva Las Vegas has a lot of bad things going for it, but you know what? They at least kept the camera in focus. mainly on Anne Margaret's arse, but that's beside the point.
I mean, in fairness, do you need a camera to be in focus to make a good movie? I don't think you do.
This is why you make YouTube videos and not major motion pictures. Unlike all our peers.
I don't know about that. Lens flare.
It was that attitude that stopped you from working on, I don't know, Kick-Ass.
Maybe I like the misery.
Oh, that's that line from that sitcom written by Arthur Matthews.
Yes, that great Arthur Matthews.
Arthur Matthews and no one else.
Yes.
I did that joke on my podcast, which I'm now going to plug. It's called Trainspotting Minute by Minute, and I did that exact same joke. And if you like that joke, go on there and go and see more. And now back to the shite. We talk about good film. Well, a good film on that.
Ben, I really hope you've been paying attention enough to give this thing a ranking.
I give it 2 Elvises out of 5. I give it 2 Elvises out of 5. The film hasn't
finished yet. You can't rank it. Well, the film hasn't ended yet.
No, I'm going to give it 2 Elvises out of 5. And, maybe throw in a little... some diet pills, for when he gets really fat near the end of his stint in Las Vegas. Do you know Elvis was a really big fan of Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
I can believe it.
Yeah, he used to quote the Knights Who Say Ni at everyone, apparently.
So the King of Hell has just been made aware of the evil guy's schemes.
We're the keepers of the sacred words. Ni, Kapow, and Nur One. The film isn't sorry to disturb me. The film is quite glad to disturb me by the sounds of it.
I really think that you've taken to this one. I quite like the.
I like some of it. I like Elvis in it. I like I like it. I like the bit before when Elvis does, Suspicious Minds. I thought that bit was really good. It was not quite surprising. Considering I wasn't quite expecting it to happen, but it was a good surprise. Because that was one of the better songs from his Memphis sessions in '68.
It can very much surprise you.
It's very much on a par with his comeback special.
You
could have ran this instead.
Well, when Elvis used to do live shows in big stadiums, he'd have like jumbotrons, and they would just play this film whilst they were waiting for him to come on.
You mean at the one stage he played in Las Vegas every day for 7 years?
Yes,
until he died
on a jumbotron. How can these skeletons talk? They don't have vocal cords.
Well, they presumably have jaws.
Yeah, but they wouldn't make any noise because
Why
they
isn't
haven't any vocal cords.
why isn't
Oh,
I-
more proof that this is a Bond film.
why isn't Jaws in this film? Where's Jaws?
He's in the water.
I want to see Jaws the shark.
He's in the water. He can't come out yet.
But Dan, what?
Oh, that's Bond gone.
What about that line before when they said, "Oh no, here comes Jaws the shark"?
They didn't have budget for the shark, so they had to cut it, but they forgot to take the line out. Typical Bond.
Why is he clutching all the money?
He was trying to do a runner with the cash.
But why do they have money in hell?
Because money can be used to buy goods and services.
Well, what would you buy in hell? Fire.
You can use it in the gambling area that's now been banned.
Firelighters to make more fire.
Yes. You can use it to buy delicious pastries. I presume that some bakers have gone to hell.
Was this film aware of how daft it was?
Yes. I think that the producers of this film thought, how can we make something that will make money?
But it didn't make money, did it?
Well, I think it broke even.
Hello. Someone's just come in my room.
Ah.
A strange woman has come in my room. Hello, thank you.
Hello.
You can hear the sound of me eating now.
Delicious. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, on this week's comedy dining experience, I'm eating a Kit Kat Chunky and some marshmallows, and I have a nice bottle of water. Ben, what are you doing?
What did Elvis like to eat?
Peanut butter and banana fried sandwiches.
I'm eating that.
And overly burnt bacon.
Is that right?
Yes.
Don't burn bacon.
He liked to
Don't burn bacon, it'll give you cancer.
Yeah, he liked to purposely cremate his bacon.
Yeah, but if you burn bacon, it gives you cancer.
It's a carcinogen. That's heavily implied at how Chris Seavey died, because he used to eat all his food basically charcoaled.
That's no good.
No.
Why would you want to have
Anyway,
cancer?
now there's a party in hell.
I should hope so. Gotta say, hell doesn't sound that bad, really, when you think about it.
No, hell's pretty good. It's got restaurants, pubs, gambling dens.
I can think of worse places, you know.
Maybe this is like
At least he's not gone to
nice guy hell.
At least he's not gone to you know.
Well, yeah. Maybe this is like nice guy hell. You know, like if you were a nice guy but you did something wrong, it's like, well, we can't let you in heaven because you didn't live a 100% good life. So we're going to send you to not quite as bad hell.
Wouldn't that just be purgatory?
No, purgatory is nothingness.
A bit like this film.
Yeah, but not so bad hell is just like Earth, basically, but underground.
It's like Earth, but on a very small, crappy soundstage.
Yes. With skeletons.
With skeletons.
And then a skeleton popped out.
What if this film was a creepypasta?
So this is The Godfather and Father Merith from The Exorcist.
Why is Elvis in The Exorcist?
My favourite scene is where Elvis does the spider walk.
Oh, we'll like that. Do you remember the bit where Elvis vomits on Max von Sydow?
Yes.
He goes,
And
your mother sucks cocks in hell. Stick your cock up stick your cock up your ass, you motherfucking worthless cocksucker. The power of Christ compels you, bitch.
Originally, William Friedkin wanted to play the role of Reagan.
Yeah, but he was too fat. So, Dan, one thing that's really confusing me about this.
Okay.
How is Elvis doing a kung fu kick?
And because Elvis was a black belt in martial arts, Ben, I don't know. This is actually true. He was a trained professional martial artist.
Is that like when he kicked Brian Wilson in the arm?
Yes. No, he actually did. There was a famous incident where a crazed fan jumped on stage and ran towards him, and he literally just put him down using his black belt skills. I'm not joking. That's actually a thing that happened.
No,
I thought that was why you kept doing the Elvis references, because he was a martial artist.
No, I'm doing the Elvis references because Elvis is in the film.
Well, he is in the film, but I'm telling you as well that he's also an actual black belt martial artist.
Did you hear Brian Wilson story about Elvis?
No, go ahead.
No, I thought you'd know. You like the Beachy Boys.
I've not heard. I do like the Beach Boys, but this anecdote is one that is either not immediately in the front of my brain right now,
well,
or
he did tell
I've
it.
never heard, so.
He did tell it on Jimmy Fallon, so it was probably drowned out by the sound of a hyena laughing in the distance. But he said like they were recording some album in the 70s, and Elvis was in the same studio, and Brian Wilson leaned over to like touch a knob or a dial, and Elvis karate chopped him and walked out. I'm just picturing.
Oh wow!
I'm just picturing, and Mike Love was there as well. So I'm just picturing Mike Love being all like, "I know Elvis won karate chop me because he's always been too chicken shit to karate chop the Beach Boys."
And I ask you, where is Phil Spector now, eh? I tell you, he's not on stage collecting an award for being a top singer. Oh yeah, so the king of hell is shaking his plinth that makes earthquakes happen in hell.
Oh man. But I mean, if he's the king of hell, surely he could just kill them all.
He could. But instead he decides to just shake his plinth that makes earthquakes happen.
You know, for the thumbnail of this video, can you just put Elvis on there, just apropos of nothing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's that one done. That's a creative choice that's been decided.
That's why I'm here, to make the decisions for you. Save you time.
It does. It's a very pleasant thing to have those decisions made. I really wish this would get picked up by Criterion. I mean, you laugh, but they put out like John Waters' Female Trouble and Pink Flamingos. I think they could put this out.
Yeah, but Pink Flamingos is a critically acclaimed masterpiece of American independent cinema. This is a critically acclaimed masterpiece of you.
Yes.
There's a difference.
I'd give them a quote. It would probably say something like, "This film is very entertaining, Daniel."
You could write the booklet for the Blu-ray.
I could. It'd have a foreword by me and Kim Newman.
A multiple paragraph essay.
With photos.
On the impact the film had.
It would be 28 pages long, and it would follow every character in the film and their original references and backstory.
Hello, my name's Dan, and I'm here to talk about the wide international influence this film had on me. Not in what I make, but just me as an individual. And my very fractured, broken personality.
I think it should be something like... Towards the end of the 70s, martial arts films were not necessarily in the best possible place. Bruce Lee had died, meaning that a lot of the kung fu films coming out of Asia at that time just weren't quite cutting the mustard. Out of the ashes of Bruce Lee's demise rose an era of filmmaking known as the Bruceploitation subgenre, a subgenre that would encompass many films featuring characters who claimed to be the great Lee, but were in fact not Lee.
They were P.
And you just kind of adjust yourself a fair bit and then make some references to Dario Argento, and it's an extra feature. Sorted.
Maybe they could have stuck this on The Man with the Golden Gun Blu-ray.
They should have. I mean, in fairness, this film came out the exact same year as The Spy Who Loved Me. So, realistically, I think it should have been included on the Bond box set.
Do you reckon that when Elvis was in his last days, his residency in Las Vegas, I mean, he presumably had access to 35mm films of that he wanted to see. He could have easily requested a copy of this.
Oh yeah, it's entirely possible that Elvis saw this film. Only to him, it wouldn't have been an old film; it would have been a new film because it was made around the time he died. So,
well, no, to him, it would have been a film of neither the past or the future. He would have sort of stepped sideways because this film came from another dimension.
This film came out the year that he died, so I would assume that.
Do you reckon that this has anything to do with it? This film killed Elvis.
It probably did. Maybe he watched it and realised that the future was not going to be that great.
He said, "The future is not bright. The future is not orange. I have had enough."
Do you reckon if Elvis had lived to the 80s, he would have ended up doing bizarre parody songs like the Beach Boys did?
Smart girls are the best.
Could you see him teaming up with the Fat Boys to do like...
My name is Elvis, and I'm the man. I write hit songs with a wave of my hand.
Do you reckon he would have ended up working with the Fat Boys on like a cover of In the Ghetto, but with a really big rap number in the middle?
Wiping out, wipe out. Wiping out, wipe out.
Man, you Fat Boys are all right, but first I gotta hit the hut.
Hey now, it's a love thing.
He almost certainly would have been on The Simpsons.
Oh yeah. He would have played Chief Wiggum.
He would have.
Dan, why the fuck are you making disgusting noises like that?
That was not me.
That's
that
not
was
very.
not my mouth.
No, Dan, that was you. It came from your
That was
audio.
not my mouth.
Not very professional,
That was
Dan.
not
I
my-
must say. Not very
This
professional.
was not my.
Not a
This
very.
is not my
Not a
beautiful.
very presentable way to approach a series for people.
This is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife.
And you may find yourself dying on the toilet fat. And you may find yourself watching a Bruce Lee film that's not a Bruce Lee film. And you may find yourself eating,
watching a legitimate James Bond film.
watching the film Moonraker, starring Desmond Llewellyn. Letting the days go by.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The film was
That
not.
was pretty intense, wasn't it?
The film was normal colours and it was red.
It was
How
pretty
did they
intense.
How did they do that?
They did edit magic on it, mate.
How though?
Edit magic, mate.
Don't believe you.
True, mate.
No. It can't be true.
I don't want to be the king no more. I just want to stay alive as all.
Why is Elvis the king of hell?
Contract disputes.
Ah.
Oh, it's Mr.
Oh,
Softy.
Christ on a can. Whoa. That is some serious
Yeah.
dark magic. He turned his top from blue to red.
He did, and then he brought an army of mummies in.
What next? Is he going to turn Coke into Pepsi?
Yes. He's going to turn water into funk.
He's going to turn Elvis into Shaking Stevens.
They must have done a lot of fighting in this quarry.
Them's fighting words, Dan. Is this our big third act
Zoom onto a wall.
final showdown slam down?
It is. I feel so sorry for those guys in those white mummy costumes. It must have been boiling.
If it makes you feel any better, Dan, they're all dead now.
Probably.
What are we going to do? Great plan.
Make it happen.
Why don't we have them kick him? Excellent.
Repeat.
This is why we pay.
Check.
This is why we pay you. You know how he's been kicking us, yes? Why don't we have them kick him and occasionally punch him? And then sometimes...
Like a great idea.
Dan, why the fuck do you keep burping? It's disgusting.
It's a terrible habit.
Dan, that's clearly you burping. That was...
I know, I just admitted to it.
It's just vile.
I know.
Why? How are we going to make an ASMR channel if you keep doing that?
We are trying our best to do the opposite of that.
ASMR is supposed to be made by fit people. That's why I'm here.
Yes.
He
said arse, not ass.
I was just about to say, did he just say he was going to poke him in the arse?
Yes, he did.
Americans don't say arse.
No, they don't.
They go ass. Hey.
That's because all of...
You asshole. Fuck.
It's because all of these voice actors are from England, but are trying to do fake American accents.
Fuck you, you fucking asshole. Fuck you, you fucking jerk. You fucking limey cunt. Go back to England, you fucking limey piece of shit. Go back to fucking the fucking
they're
Midlands.
doing Berserker. Berserker mode, Ben.
Do you think when Terrence Dicks saw this, and he was writing The Five Doctors, which starred Fraser Hines, and he said, "I'm going to have this in my thing. I'm going to have a ninja robot man."
Yes.
Who's going to fight Cybermen.
Yes.
Because, in a way, this basically is the Five Doctors.
Was there a question there? That seemed like a statement,
no,
but it started as a question.
I never said it was a question.
You said, when Terrence Dicks watched this and wrote The Five Doctors and made a robot jumpy man.
They start a sentence with when. That doesn't mean I'm asking you a question. I'm telling you, when Terrence Dicks wrote this, when Terrence Dicks wrote this film, and Eric Sayward adapted it for The Five Doctors, he copied Terrence's idea to do a ninja robot man.
Yes, he did.
And then John Pertwee showed up with his hair.
Yes, he did.
And he said, "I demand to be in The Dragon Lives Again." And they said, "John."
And they said,
We've already got you appearing in EastEnders in 10 years.
It's all right. I shall use the TARDIS and travel back in time, and it'll all work out great.
I demand to be on Children in Need. I demand to be on Noel's house party.
So, Ben, when Norman J. Warren saw this film whilst writing the plot for the film Bloody New Year...
That was one of Elvis's favourites, that.
It was one of mine as well. He was going to do a cover of Recipe for Romance by Cry No More, but it all fell through at the last minute because he died.
He died in the last minute. It was harrowing.
Which does rather put a dampener on things.
Not for Norman J. Warren. He
You know, Norman J. Warren's dead now.
Well, he can have it out with Elvis then.
He died this year, funnily enough.
It can settle this once and for all.
Oh,
no.
This is one of my favourite scenes in this film.
Popeye fell down.
Popeye get kicked.
Wouldn't it be funny if we just realised we weren't hitting record?
It would just hit stop all the way through.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That would be really funny.
That would make me laugh. Is that Indiana Jones?
No, that's Monkey.
No, Dan, that's Indiana Jones.
No, it's Monkey from the film Monkey.
No, it's Indiana Jones. That was one of Elvis's favourite films.
Surprised all this nunchuckery got through the censors.
This isn't rated by the BBFC.
Yeah, it is.
They've never watched this.
They have it. It had a VHS release with a certificate,
They
and
gave
it also got a DVD
they
release
gave
with a certificate.
they gave it to the work experience boy. They said Darren, we can't be asked. Just watch this, rate it whatever you want, rate it R18 if you want. We don't give a shit.
Beavis, come in here, sit down, rate it, go.
This is cool.
That should be a universal. I think everybody needs to see it.
He kicks him in the crotch. That's cool.
It's cool.
When Darren was watching this, when he rated this, what do you think was going through his head?
I imagine it was the Windows egg timer. Just slowly dropping the sand and then flipping over.
I imagine it was the Windows.
Oh, here comes trouble.
It was the startup noise to Windows ME.
Popeye's eating his spinach.
If this film was an operating system, it would be Windows ME. Because it doesn't.
It'd be amazing.
Because it doesn't work.
It'd be Windows 10 because it's the best film ever made, and it's easily my favourite Bond film.
That implies that Windows 10 is the best operating system, which it blatantly isn't.
I disagree. I think it's amazing.
You PC fucking junkie whore. Such a cocksucky, arse-lucky sellout.
This film is my favourite James Bond film. Can you tell me any other James Bond films where Popeye fights an army of mummies?
If this was,
I don't think you can.
If this film was an online application released only to Windows ME, it would be Space Blaster Pinball 2000.
The best game included on a Windows OS.
If this film was a Flash animation from 2003, it would be The Evil Strawberry.
Have you been hanging around with that James Rolfe character again?
If this film was a Beach Boys song, it would be the one that they got John Stamos on to sing.
You've been hanging around that Doug Walker character again.
If this film was a person, it would be Daniel Day-Lewis.
We've been hanging around that angry gamer again.
If this film was a book, it would be this.
Hanging around
the satanic.
Graham.
It would be the Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie. It would have people coming to kill us for writing it.
You've been hanging around that Graham Linehan character again.
This film was a toilet roll, it'd be Andrex.
You've been hanging around that Natalie Wynn character again.
This film was a pebble, it'd be a Standy Stone. This film were a theme park, it'd be the steeplechase at Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
Have you been hanging around that Jimmy Savile character
This
again?
film were a sex offender from the 1970s. It would be it would be Dave Lee Travis.
Have you been hanging around that irate gamer?
If this film were a former disgraced animator who used to work for Nickelodeon, it would be John Crifalucci. If this film were if this film were a
You've been hanging around that
Christ.
Linkara character again.
If this film were a series of Doctor Who, it would be season 12.
That's actually a pretty good season.
Which one was that?
That was one with Robot, Genesis of the Daleks, the Sontaran
No,
Experiment,
no,
Revenge of the Cybermen.
No, not the classic one, the new one.
Oh. Have you been hanging around that Russell T Davies character again?
If this film were a Doctor Who character, if this film were a Doctor Who companion, it'd be Chameleon.
Have you been hanging around that Lasagna Cat YouTube channel again?
If this film were a Lasagna Cat video, it'd be the sex survey one. If this film were a Garfield strip, it'd be the one where he goes to hell. There actually is a Garfield strip where he goes to hell, by the way.
If this hanging around that Jay Bauman character again.
If this film were a podcast, it'd be trainspottingminutebyminute.com. Go find us. If this film were a shameless
hanging around that Larry Bundy Jr. again.
If this film were a shameless self-promotion, it would be Trainspotting Minute by Minute. Everyone go watch it now. It's really
hanging around that Noah Antweiler again.
If this film were a planet, it'd be Pluto, because that's not a planet. You thought I was going to say Uranus, but I wouldn't sink that low. Get it? Locust Bum. If this film were a...
You've been hanging around that Nash Bozard character again.
If this film were a commentary, it would be ending now. Would be ending now. Would be ending now. Would be ending now. Would be ending.